He came to the gym every day, not to train, but to clean. A man most ignored, pushing a mop while others lifted weights. But one moment changed everything. A trainer thought it would be entertaining, challenging the janitor to a workout just for laughs. What happened next wasn't just about strength, but about pride, respect, and the painful truth of being underestimated because of the color of your skin. In a single challenge, the entire gym learned a lesson they would never forget. But the real question is, will we? The gym was alive with energy. Music thumped through the speakers, sneakers squeaked against rubber flooring, and the clang of metal echoed like a drum beat. Members came in waves, some chasing personal records, others chasing appearance. But there was one man no one noticed. He wasn't dressed in pander gear, did not carry a shaker bottle, or wear wireless earbuds. Instead, he wore a faded uniform, gloves, and carried a mop bucket. He was the janitor. Every day, he worked in the background, sweeping, wiping mirrors, collecting towels. To most, he was invisible, a fixture of the gym like the trash bins or benches. But behind every glance, every dismissive smirk, there was something unspoken. He was judged not just for his job, but for his skin. People made assumptions before he ever opened his mouth. The trainer at this gym was everything. The janitor wasn't loud, confident, adored. He barked instructions, flexed for clients, and basked in attention. His word carried weight, his presence commanded respect. And on that day, with the gym buzzing and members gathered, he spotted the janitor quietly scrubbing the floor near the racks. He smirked. Maybe he wanted to entertain his crowd. Maybe he wanted to remain every one of the hierarchy, trainers on top, janitor at the bottom. So with a mocking grin, he called out, "Hey you, ever tried? Hey you, ever tried a real workout?" The room chuckled. Phones came out. No one expected the janitor to say yes, but he did. And that single decision would turn the entire gym upside down. The janitor's life at the gym had always been quiet. He was the man with the mop, the rag, the trash bags. His worth measured by how clean the place looked when others were done sweating. Invisible to most, noticed only when the mirrors gleamed or the floors shined. Yet, in the corners of the room, he heard it, the laughter, the title comments, the looks that said he did not belong, that he was less. When the trainer's challenge echoed through the gym, it wasn't an invitation. It was a test designed to humiliate. Members leaned in smirks, tugging at their lips, waiting for the janitor to decline. But instead, he wiped his hands on his uniform, stood up straight, and stepped forward. The trainer's grin widened. This was content, a spectacle. He loaded the barbell, light enough to be safe, but heavy enough to embarrass us. The crowd gathered, some ready to record, others whispering under their breath. The janitor gripped the bar. His hands were closed, not from lifting weights, but from years of scrubbing floors and hauling trash. Yet his grip was steady. He lifted smooth, controlled. The smicks faltered. The trainer laughed it off and added more weight. Again, the janitor lifted, calm, focused, unshaken. The room shifted. Murmurs rippled. People leaned closer. Phones titled higher. The trainer, no longer laughing, doubled the challenge. More weights, faster pace. Sweat dripped from the janitor's brow. His arms trembled, but he did not stop. Each rep was more than a lift. It was years of silent strength, years of being underestimated, years of enduring looks that said he was nothing. Now, in this moment, he was everything. The crowd grew restless. Some whispered respect, others looked away ashamed. Still, the trainer pushed harder, desperate to reclaim control. But with every added plate, every lift completed, it became clearer. The power in the room no longer belonged to the trainer. And with every second, the tension mounted. The question hung heavy in the air. Would the janitor break, or would he break the silence of every prejudice around him? The trainer's confidence had evaporated, his smirk replaced with disbelief. What began as a joke was now a battle he could not win. The janitor's muscles strained, sweat streamed down his face, but his focus remained unshaken. The trainer added more weight, clinging to his pride. This was not about fitness anymore. It was about dominance, about proving the man with the mop cloud never stand equal to the man with the whistle. The bar shook. The janitor arms trembled. For a heartbeat, the crowd held its breath, certain this was the breaking point. Phones angled closer, ready to capture his collapse. But instead, he rose. The bar climbed higher, steady, unyielding. Gusts filled the gym. The trainer's face drained to off color. In that instant, the entire room saw the truth. Strength is not always found in the loudest voices. It's forged in silence, in struggle, in resilience. The janitor lowered the bar with a thunderous crash. The sound shocked the floor, but what shocked harder was the silence that followed. No laughter, no mockery, only stunned faces staring at the man they once ignored. And as he looked around the room, his chest rising and falling, one truth became undeniable. He had been underestimated his entire life, but no anymore. The trainer stepped back, powerless. The crowd froze. For the first time, the janitor was not invisible. He was undeniable. But the story did not end there. The gym remained silent, heavy with the weight of realization. The trainer avoided eye contact, his pride shattered. Members who once laughed now shifted uncomfortably, unsure whether to applaud or apologize. The janitor stood tall, not as a man who had won a workout challenge, but as someone who forced a room full of doubters to see him for who he truly was. That moment was not about barbells or reeds. It was about dignity. It was about years of quiet endurance, years of being judged by a uniform, a job title, or the color of his skin. With one act, he broke through the stereotype that had kept him invisible. The footage spread beyond the gym. Clips were shared, stories told. Some praised his strength, others questioned why it took lifting weights for people to finally respect him. And that's the painful truth. It should not take a spectacle to prove worth. His story is just one of millions, because outside those gym walls, racism still lingers. Base still dictates who get noticed, who gets dismissed, and who has to fight twice as hard just to be seen. So the lesson is not just about one man lifting a barbell, it's about all of us. It's about asking ourselves, how many times have we overlooked someone? How many times have we judged their potential before knowing their story? The janitor did not just lift weights that day, he lifted the weight of silence, of stereotypes, of expectations meant to keep him small. And in doing so, he showed us something simple yet powerful. Strength is not always measured in muscles, it's measured in resilience. So, I leave you with this. How many more people have to be underestimated, mocked, or dismissed before we finally learn to see each other for who we really are? I hope you enjoy this story. Till next video, take care and bye bye.